Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good today. I'm going to do a real quick video here. I am obviously not the only one that got confused with this diagram. If these pulleys weren't right next to each other, I mean, they're so close, it's hard to tell what you're doing here. Even I got confused. All my manis are done like this. I'll show you. I'll show you real quick. See all them crossovers and stuff in there? See how that's all gimped? That's cross-reeved. A 1600, I didn't do that. You can see it is just reeved from one side to the other with a simple crossover. One line, two drums. This one here, I could not get this. I tried 4 times to reeve this and I kept running into a problem right here, somewhere in here. And I couldn't get it right because these pulleys too close. I couldn't really tell what I was doing. This is much more clear. You can clearly see where you run off the drum, and it's very plainly, you can see how you're skipping and you're gonna do a crossover and you can see how this is done. It's very, very clear on this particular picture, but it's because all the sheaves are separated enough where you can see where the rope goes. This one, not so much. I would say just screenshot this and do it like this, but this doesn't have enough pulleys to do it. This thing got 19 pulleys or sheaves on it. And none of the other ones do. They're all up to about 15. So what I did was I used this over here. It is much, much easier. I'm gonna go over it real quick. This is the only way I could figure to do this and get it right without me guessing at what to do, even though I've done these before. So I'm going to show you real quick. This is the best way to do this because this is correct. And if you do it like this, it will come out perfectly. But if you go by this, you're going to get confused like I did, unless you can pick these out better than I did. And obviously some people are having a little trouble with this, hence this video. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do this. The W is the winch. It gives you a little breakdown here. Winch, front, and rear. That's pretty easy to go by, okay? So you go from the winch to 13 front. All right, here's your winch. Here's 13 front, right there. Then it goes to 13 rear. You can see it right there. You go from 13 front to 13 rear. All right, 13 front, roll it around to the rear. The next 13 R is 13 rear here. And then you can see it goes to 13 front, right there. Then it goes to 15. You can see here's the skip, 13 front to 15 front. So you go from 13 here to 15 here. All right, back over here. 15 front, 15 rear, down to 15 rear, to 15 front, to 17 front. There it is right there, 15 to 17. Okay? 17 front, down at the third column down, 17 rear, then 17 rear. You with me? To 17 front, to 19 front. There it is right there, 17 front to 19. So you go from here to here, around to 19 rear, and then to 18 front. And that's a That's a crossover. Because you're going from the rear to the front instead of the rear to the rear. Like you did these. You're going from 13 rear to 13 rear. So here's a crossover. We were on 18 front, which is right there, to 18 rear, to 18 front, to 18 rear. Okay? If you go by this, and maybe it would help you if you had someone else to tell you which one you're going to. If not, take a pencil and just put a mark through each one you do. Put a little mark through it so you know where you're going. Or color it in. That's what I was doing here. I color in the sheave when I reeve it. And you can see I had all of these colored in, but you can see that one, and that one did not get colored in. That's where I couldn't figure this out. This diagram, mine sucks. I don't know if everybody else's is this bad. Mine sucks. Had they done it like this, it would have been a whole lot easier. Easier to see where the rope goes because there's separation in the pulleys. And I don't get that here. This you can hardly tell. Does this go here or does this go up here? So I got a little confused with this, even though I've done these before. So shoot over to this thing, give this a try. Naturally, one wire, two drums is a difficult way to do these. When I did this, I strung out about 10 feet, and then I started reeving. I taped that down, and I started reeving and pulled that tight, and that was the extra to run on the spool, on the drum. When I finished, I dragged both lines out, cut them even, taped them to the drums, and then I used my little clip thing that I got. If you watch my other reeving video, you'll see it. Let me see if I can find that thing. It definitely makes it a little easier to spool these drums once you do these. Oh, come on, where's my little thing? I got all my taxes up here on the thing. I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. I made that. And all I do, let's see if I can find one of these I can get near. All I do is I put the wires in on it, and then I just run this back and forth along the drums with the wire through the little holes, and it guides the wire onto the drum, and it spools it evenly. And you can get this on and off without cutting the wire. There's a little trick to it I've shown before. It's on one of my other reeving videos. But that's what I use to spool the drum. I'll just go back and forth as I'm turning the drums. And I do cheat on that too. I've mentioned this before. Electric screwdriver. It turns pretty slow, but fast enough to spool these things up in a minute. And once you get this thing going and you're running this across the thing like this, it pulls it up pretty quick. Okay? So, if anybody has any other questions, by all means, hit me up in the comments section. I've had several people, so I'm not going to name anybody, that is having trouble with this. I am not the only one, and I don't mind admitting it. This sucked to try to do this reeving. I'm sure there's guys that are better than me, and they got it without a problem. But yeah, I had trouble with it. Trouble figuring out which of these go where. Where, like I say, this was a lot easier to see. I wish this had the 19 sheaves up here. If it had 19, I'll tell you, screenshot this and just do it like this. But I wouldn't guarantee it, all right? This is the best way to do it. That's the way I did mine. This does not work. This works. It did take a little time. I'd say a couple of hours, because I do one sheave at a time and pull it tight and keep it tensioned. That's your best bet. Keep these things tensioned or they start jumping. And I think I did have one in particular. Let's see, one of these here, it was where there was a separation. There's a little thing on the separation on the pulleys, and it got caught in that little separation between them, the little in the middle. But it was easy enough to put back on. So watch out for that. Just keep your tension on your line as you're doing this, and it'll go pretty quick, especially using this right here. And as you can see, the last thing is 7 front. That's right there, 7 front. And oops, I missed the right wire. There it goes right down to the drum from 7 front right there. That's your ending. So try this, not this. And if you need, like I say, grab somebody to help you read these off and keep track of where you are. Otherwise, mark it off with a pencil so you can erase it later. And as you do each one, just mark it. And like I say, if you've got a problem, hit me up in the comment section. I'll do my best. I didn't want to take this apart and re-reeve it for everybody. But I do have a dual drum, single line reeving video. It's 3 or 4 parts because it does take a while to do. And I do them a little different than they tell you in the instructions. They tell you to spool up a little bit on this side and then start reeving and then put the other end on here and pull it up. And yeah, that doesn't work so well for me. So I pretty much have my own way to do these. As a note, here are some more. These are all Manny's. You can see that's a Manitowoc boom here, and they do all of theirs like this. And you can see these are all cross-reeve. You've got one line coming in here, and the tie-off is right there. So you're coming in at the middle, and you're tying off at the middle. See the tie-off right there. Typical for Manitowocs. And mine are reeved like that. So you're coming here, you're going across, you're coming back, hitting these, and then coming up and tying off. It's very typical. It's a little confusing, but you can see that all of these are crossed and skipped, and yeah, it does make them a little tougher. Here's the one wire coming in. There's the tie off right there. So again, you're coming in at the middle, tying off in the middle. Just like this. I'll show you. You can see the tie off right here in the middle. Right there. It's tied off right in the middle. And I'm going to see if I can pull this wire here. Here it is down here. You can see it's coming in at the middle. It's coming in right here. And it's tying off right there. It goes to one side, crosses over to the other side, and comes back to the middle. It can be done. And that's the way to do it. I don't know, says load line reeving. So this was obviously for the hook. Somewhere in here I've got this printed. It's the same for doing the luffers and stuff like that. But if they did this like that, it'd be a lot easier to do. So I was a little disappointed with their diagram as well. And yeah, it is very, very confusing. All right, y'all. Good luck with this. I did it exactly like they say. There it is. Even though I've got a couple of tight pulleys, my A-arm is not all straight. You can see over there on that right side, that little yellow bar sticking next to the pendant mount. That stuff is just not straight. So, a few issues with the 11,000, but I love that model. I mean, just look how big that thing is. There it sits next to a 1300. Over here, that's a 16,000. It's just totally overpowering, these little tiny ones. And even that 1750 right there is no match. It's kind of hard to tell from here. But you can see them tracks are way, way bigger, way wider. That car body's way up. It's a huge model. I love it. And I don't mind that color. I like that little black boom butt there. I like that red jib. I put me a windmill thing on it. Took it off the 16,000. I had it on the 16,000, but looks cool up there real high on that jib. I like the little jib. It's pretty cool. Nice model. All right, y'all. Good luck on this. And all I can say is take your time. One sheave at a time. Keep it tensioned. I'll tell you one of my tricks. Let me see if I can get a finger in here on one of these. When I put the rope on a pulley, on a sheave, I'll stick my finger on it like this and then pull the rope through. And it keeps the rope on the sheave. I know it sounds a little weird, but yeah. Once in a while, if you've got a big loop or knot or something, it might jump off. Most of the time, it clears it and it doesn't jump. So sometimes when you pull them, if you can't keep tension on them, put your finger on the pulley, or sheave I mean, and pull your wire through. It works pretty good. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Good luck with this thing. By all means, hit me up. You can even call me. I'll shoot you guys my phone number. 623-208-9203. Hit me up, call me. I'll video conference and help you through this thing if you need it. All right? Have a great day, y'all.